Harmony, the 11th spiritual law of the universe. The law of harmony expresses the idea that the plurality or multiverse that makes up the observable reality is entangled, weaved, and orchestrated together into a unity of purpose or meaning. Without the variety of forms, colors, and fragrances, the garden would not be such a breathtaking sight. Without the variety of musical notes, there would be just sound and no music. Yet, life is more than just a haphazard casting together of many parts. There is an order in the arrangement of the parts, and the purpose of this order seems to demonstrate or reveal the presence of a transcendent perfection that is guiding the course of life. The spiritual dimension of harmony is called stillness. The beginning point of the law of harmony is that the essence of life, which is expressed in creation, must be still at its core. Like the stillness within the eye of the hurricane, the power that causes, contains, and orchestrates the movement we call life must be itself motionless. The source of life is the perfect stillness within which all movement occurs. A good way of visualizing this divine stillness is to picture a lake and the waves upon it. The waves arise and travel from shore to shore, making the surface of the lake appear very active. But the lake itself, the entire body of water, does not move an inch. It is this stillness, steadiness, and firmness of the lake that gives power, direction, and meaning to the movement of the waves. But although it is firm and motionless, it is fluid enough to allow all movement to occur within itself. The stillness at the heart of life is the place from which power and creativity emerge. The changing times, seasons, and circumstances are not the fact of life. They are mere phenomena. When your attention is immersed in outward circumstances, you easily get swept away by them. Sin and death, the symbols of struggle and failure, are the punishment for walking by sight or living your life from the senses. But when you are rooted in the stillness within, you become the orchestrator of your own circumstances. As such, righteousness and life, the symbols of success and bliss, become the reward for walking by faith or living your life from awareness. This is why we have this invitation in the book of Psalms. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The emotional dimension of harmony is called peace. Peace is the subjective experience of the soul that has immersed itself in the inner stillness of spirit. This immersion or alignment takes place when you consciously recognize that the turmoil on the outside is merely the manifestation of reality and not reality itself, and that reality is the inner essence or spirit of life. That which is popularly known as peace of mind is the state of rest that the soul enjoys when it lies in the arms of the spirit, like a baby lies in the arms of its mother. You abandon yourself to the spirit within when you recognize that it is the cause of all things, that its nature is love, that your being is this loving spirit individualizing and experiencing itself, and that therefore grace, mercy, goodness, and increase are the infallible laws of your being. By becoming immersed in the spirit within, you automatically become detached from outward circumstances. The detached soul knows no regret or bitterness because it is detached from the past. It knows no fear or anxiety because it is detached from the future. The detached soul is fully present in the moment, and this is how it becomes a vortex of life and well-being in its environment. The mental dimension of harmony is called attention. When your soul is at peace because you are basking in the calmness or stillness of the eternal spirit of life, then and only then do you enjoy that state of attention that is sought by all but found by a very few. Attention deficit is a most prevalent disease of our increasingly shallow, noisy, and stressful society. Almost everyone knows that where your attention goes is where your energy flows. Because people are becoming more and more inattentive due to multiple distractions and increasing stress, they are becoming weaker and weaker, less and less productive, and less healthy. This decline in presence, power, and productivity affects not only health, job performance, and finances, but more importantly, relationships and the zeal for life. This explains in part the increasing rate of chronic diseases, mental illness, and suicides. This is why there are countless schools now trying to teach meditation, yoga, and other techniques that may help people become more attentive and immersed in the present moment, and by so doing, reawaken their power. The bad news is that no attention-inducing technique can work. Attention is not induced by forcefully controlling the will. And when you succeed to master the will, what you achieve is not attention. Attention is the natural state of rest that the mind enters into when it has seen the light of its inner being, and therefore given up its wild goose chase of attributing causality to external forces. The physical dimension of harmony is called beauty. Beauty is the visual perception of harmony. It is the perfect proportionality in a body that makes you see that somebody looks beautiful. It is a perfect blend of colors and perfect arrangement of branches, leaves, sepals, and petals that inspires you to say a flower is beautiful. If you look at a deeper level, you will find that the universe really boils down to numbers and arrangements. The number and arrangements of particles in space creates the three-dimensional signature of an entity. It determines the movement of this entity and its interaction with other entities, and eventually determines the phenomena that emerge from this interaction. Beauty is what we perceive when these invisible numbers and arrangements and movement of particles interact with our five senses. If beauty is the outward manifestation of an inner perfection or order, and we have seen that all order and perfection is the outbreathing of the creative spirit, then we can rightly say that beauty is the handwriting of God. This is good news for you if you are a visual, a feeling, or a perceptive person, because then beauty is your window into heaven. You can create your own spirituality by surrounding yourself with beauty and by immersing yourself in the contemplation of nature. And when you use beauty as your handle, it serves as a vehicle to transmit your attention into the mysteries that are clothed by the beauty. The cosmic dimension of harmony is called symphony. The perfection that arises from the orderly arrangement of parts into a pleasing whole is called a harmony, as we have seen. For example, when someone plays a song on a piano, he is producing a harmony. When someone paints a beautiful landscape, he has produced a harmony. When you bake a beautiful cake, you have produced a harmony. When I write one paragraph that conveys a clear message, I have produced a harmony. Now, when you blend a multitude of harmonies into a complex whole that is still harmonious, you have produced a symphony. So, a flower is a harmony because it is beautiful by itself. But a garden of 1,000 flowers is even more beautiful. This greater beauty is thus a symphony. The most common use of the word symphony is as it applies to a symphony orchestra. What I invite you to do is that the next time you watch or listen to an orchestra perform, you should remember that the vast universe is indeed a cosmic orchestra. From the vibration of the quantum particles to the floating of the galaxies in the heavens, every motion follows a precise order or pattern, as if there is an invisible conductor that is orchestrating all the movements of life. The result is the entire cosmos that is a symphony of unspeakable proportions. The more attention you give to the world around you, the more curious you get. The more curious you get, the more deeply you contemplate the universe. The more deeply you contemplate the universe, the more you become overcome by a sense of wonder. Wonder is the place your soul wants to be. For it is this sense of wonder that is called worship and adoration. The soul that is in a state of wonder is totally empty of itself and totally available to serve as a vessel of the outpouring of the divine mysteries. This is your ultimate calling. May your soul be engulfed by a sense of wonder, the way a drop of water loses itself into the sea. I am GodfreyEsoh, and this is Spiritual Engineering.